10 by 10 canvas from Michaels. So it's the green label. I like these. They are gallery wrapped and they're the thick ones, okay? They're the really nice thick ones. Hey, Vicki, how are ya? So I am going to do an abstract, okay? We talked about abstracts in the live from this afternoon at 5:30 a little bit. And so I thought, what better thing to do tonight than a little bit of an abstract. And we are going to we're going to use plaster and paint to create a really nice backdrop. And then tomorrow we're going to finish her up. Okay? So one of the first things I want to do is grab my tape because I don't want to plaster my sides. So what I'm going to do is to keep plaster off my sides, I am going to add some tape right up to the edge. That'll keep the plaster off my sides, and it'll enable me to just paint the sides when I'm done if I so choose. I usually wait till the end to do my sides because I never know what's going to happen on the front. Sometimes you just never know. So I don't want to paint something that's not going to be conducive. So I am going to put a little tape on my canvas. Hello, Rhonda. Hello, Lynette. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to keep any wild plaster off of my sides so it's not goopy. And if you're super careful and not messy like me, you probably wouldn't even have to do this. Just normally slightly messy with my plaster and my art. And because I didn't really sleep last night and had to get up at the crack of dawn to go to the doctor, who tried to kill me, I'm even probably more messy than normal. So we're just going to, this is my little insurance policy. So we have a nice little piece of art. I love the Night Owl Lives too. I have to do this more often. Digging it. Totally digging it. All right. So we're going to hit those sides with that tape. Totally not 100% necessary. I love using plaster too, Kelsey, and you are going to love what we're about to do. This is going to be super fun. And if I say super one more time, I'm going to be angry with my own self. It's like, shut up. Okay, so we are going to use modeling paste, which is the same stuff we used in the Sunflower Challenge. You can use any plaster that you have. It doesn't have to be modeling paste. It can be Venetian plaster or whatever heavy-bodied plaster you have. And we're going to use a palette knife. Let me get this one. This is one of my larger ones that had some black on it. It still has some black on it. We'll just have to deal with it. So, oh my God, Charlene, I've done that before. And yesterday, or my day before yesterday, when I went to physical therapy, I was supposed to be there at 10. And I thought I was supposed to be there at 10:30, and they were not happy with me when I showed up late. So yeah, getting old is so much fun. I had to have a sip. Okay, so we're going to use our modeling paste and a palette knife, and I have white, and I have a navy blue, which is deep midnight blue, and I have cable knit gray. All right, so we're going to use those. This is going to be quick and dirty. So I'm going to make sure that's stuck down, just run over it with my blade. And first thing I'm going to do is just quickly cover my entire canvas. I got to turn my fan off. You don't want to go super slow because we're going to add paint to our plaster while it's wet. So you want to get your plaster on as quickly as you can. We're going to go left to right in a horizontal motion. But if you take your time, I'm going to demonstrate. If you take your time putting it on. It's gonna get really dry, and then you're not gonna be able to put your paint on, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. And you can use a bigger palette knife if you have it. As a matter of fact, I am going to. I've got a big monster Mac Daddy palette knife. You see the difference? This comes from Hobby Lobby. It's regular price $7.99. You can get it half price when Master's Touch is on sale. So it's $4. Okay? So I'm gonna get plaster on my knife. Big old, it looks like a cake spreader frosting knife, doesn't it? And I am going to spread it on my canvas. This makes it really fast. So just get it on, just thick enough to lose that texture of the canvas. It's making me hungry for ice cream or cupcakes or something. So you don't want to take your time, like I said. You want to get it on and get moving. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to add your paints. Yes, this big knife is the bomb diggity. I have like 4 of them, and they're a must-have for larger art pieces. You don't want to be working on applying like plaster in this style with a little baby palette knife. It'll drive you crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna create a little bit of texture. I'm just gonna rub my knife this way. I almost knocked that wine over and then we'd all been in trouble. Do it this way, and here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna scrape that excess off. I'm gonna cover my stuff so it don't get dried out in this hot room. And I'm gonna grab my color. So the first color I'm gonna use is white, okay? It's modeling paste, Francis. It is Liquitex modeling paste. So I'm going to get white, and I'm going to do just squirt white on the top half. That was probably too much, but we'll work with it. And then white there. Then I'm gonna do gray, which is cable knit gray. Just a tiny, well, whoops, that was too much. So here's what I'm gonna do. I don't want much of that. So I'm gonna put some here, just spread it out. It didn't wanna come out, and then it did. Then I'm gonna use Deep Midnight Blue by Americana, and we're gonna put that right in the middle, okay? So now I'm gonna use my same palette knife. It's still got a little plaster on it. And I am gonna blend left to right. What is that? That was a big old, look, big old dried up plaster booger. Yucky. Blend your color left to right. The white first. So we'll flip her around. Do the white. I got too much there, so I'm going to I'm going to put it here for now in case I need it again. I don't want to waste. So I'm just going to run it through the plaster. There's another one. It must be in the paint. Hang on. Left to right. Then while you still have that white on your palette knife, we're going to go into our gray. We're going to flip around again. We're going to go into our gray. I'm going to wipe it off on, see how I'm wiping it on a paper towel? Just wipe it off, and then I'm going to come in, and I'm going to hit the blue. Hit the blue. Wipe it off. And I don't like that it's really solid there. So what I may do is just take a little white and add a little white line right in the middle. Then I'm going to take a little smaller palette knife. Let's see what we got. We're going to break that color up a little. Oh, look. Perfect. Oh yeah, I'm gonna clean that off. Clean up the bottom. Just flip her around. And that's quite the mess. I want to bring a little of that down. Get a little of it from my nasty paper towel on my knife. And bring a little of that down. Whew! Quite the mess. And I'm going to take my knife and even the sides out. Just scrape off any excess. If you've got a little mess spot for plaster, you can hit it with your finger. Just scrape. See where the tape came in handy? We have a nice line. And voila. So, I think that's the bottom, that's the top. Let's look. I gotta throw that nasty mess away. Let's see. Hang on. Whoa, whoa, Nelly. That's not going in there. So that is our start, okay? So all we did, do you see how fast and easy that was? And look, it's pretty just like it is on its own. I mean, you could totally let this dry, pull the plaster, sign the side, sign the edge, and be done. Literally. But we're gonna let this dry. It's a little thick and has a lot of paint, so it might crackle a little, which I totally dig. I don't mind it at all. It may not. The thicker you apply it, the more chance you have of it doing that. But that was like a 5-minute art piece. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a really professional technique in applying a little bit of gold to our canvas. So I want you guys to pay really, I want you to pay really close attention, okay? This is a professional technique that you probably didn't even learn if you went to art school, so pay close attention, okay? So this is Perfetto Metallic Plaster. Now this is like the sample size. I think you can get a little sample kit of Perfetto plasters for I don't even know how much. I don't have that on my table with me, so I'm just going to use this. But Master's Touch Gold would work perfectly. Whatever gold you have and that you wanted to use would work just as fine. Yes. So, but here's what I'm going to do because I ain't getting up. You could do any of those things. The pearl with silver would look good. But here's what I'm going to do. I want you to pay close attention. This is important. I'm going to put my finger in it. I'm going to offload. I still have some on my finger, and I'm going to rub a little bit of that gold on. I told you it was fancy. I told you this was a fancy technique. You didn't believe me, did you? I'm just going to literally, I'm barely touching the surface, guys. So I'm just getting it a little tiny bit on my finger. This is fancy. You have to pay millions of dollars in art school for these techniques. So I'm just going to just a teeny, perfetto.com. Heather, do you know Perfetto's website, Heather Moss? If you do, will you post that? They do have their own website. I think it's metallicmart.com. METALLIC Mart, MART.com. So yeah, so just get a little bit at a time, okay? Don't do a lot. And yes, so don't do a lot, just a little, because you can always add more, but it's super hard to get it off once you put it on, okay? So just a teeny bit. I think it's Metallic Mart, Heather, if you'll verify that for me. So I'm just going to add a little bit of gold, especially like in my darker areas. Oh, I love it. And I'll show you this really close up and personal in just a second. And you'll be able to see what I'm seeing. I know it's hard to see it from where you're sitting. So yeah, don't share this technique with your art studio or your college art friends. They will think you're crazy. They'll be like, what are you doing? It's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. So adding just a shimmer, I love it. I'm gonna add a little bit more, get some of this off my finger, and I'm gonna come up here, and it's kind of hitting the texture from the modeling paste. Ooh. Yeah, this is some fancy work going on over here. Ancient Chinese secrets. Okay, I think that's good. I really like the way this looks. Thank you, Heather. Really like the way this looks. I want to see if you can see it. So I'm going to give my iPad a minute to catch up. There are no rules in art. I say that all the time. You do you. We're just making abstract, Richard. So can you see the gold shimmer that we've added? Let me pull down a little. So we've just added a touch of gold, and when we put the resin on this, it's gonna really pop, and that gold is really, really, really gonna pop. Look at you, Claire. Go girl, put the whole link in. You guys are so awesome. See, these are my people. This is my family who's doing this. Claire is one of our Shattered Circle members, and this is what we do for each other. Claire went and found that exact link that we were using, and she posted it just for you guys. Is that not spectacular? So this little bit of metallic is what we did. So I think that's really kind of dry already, and we're going to be able to move right on. So I am going to add clear classic glass. It's just maybe 4 ounces or less, maybe 3 ounces, because that's an 8-ounce cup. So it's maybe 2.5 to 3 ounces of clear classic glass. And we're just going to randomly, wherever we want, add some glass. So I'm gonna just start adding, because there's no rule. There are no rules. So, and I like things to be, that's a big old piece. I like my abstracts to remain abstract, so I don't want to like make one line. So I'm going to skip spots. Let's see, let me break this. So these are the kind of things we do in a Shattered Circle on a little bit of a larger scale. I'm going to do some down here, right on the edge of my blue. I really want that blue to stand out. We'll add some a little further down. We'll add some further up, like that. And you know what I kind of want to do? Let me grab something that just popped in my head, because that's how art works when it pops in your head. Yeah, you know what, guys? I used to be that way too, and I think you just have to drink a glass of wine. Drink a glass of wine, a big old hefty glass. Not one of them baby glasses. Not the kind they serve you in a restaurant that has 3 drips in it. Pour your own big old hefty Cindy glass of wine, drink it, and then paint. Don't drink 2 glasses, because then you might not be able to paint. This is glass from Michaels. It's actually vase filler, and you can buy it in the floral department. They haven't had it in the last month or 2 because of the pandemic, but this is decorative filler, and it's kind of a champagne-y color. And this came from Michaels. It is called Ashland Decorative Filler. So hopefully they'll be getting this back anytime now, but it's smaller. It's little bitty, smaller nuggets of glass, and I actually do have smaller nuggets of glass. I just didn't bring any up here. I have 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch clear, but I wasn't thinking about that then. Yes, that is true, Heather. When wine spills on your canvas, it's still art. So I want to add a little bit of this in because it's kind of a platinum color, which has just a tinge of gold to it. So I'm going to just add a few of those little nuggets in, and that will bring out some of that gold we just applied. Oh, listen. Can y'all hear that? Listen. Maybe not. I thought my kitty cat was screaming like a banshee. So I'm just going to smatter in a little bit of this. It's just base filler, super sparkly, and I'm digging that already. Really makes a difference. They don't have it on their website anymore. Oh, they are, well, you know, it's probably made in China. If you want to know the truth of the matter, it's probably made in China, and that's probably why. But you could, I have 1/4 inch, or this size in clear, and I need to get that back up on my website, and I will try to remember to do that this weekend. It's been kind of a crazy week, and I got a ton of glass in today, and have one more shipment I'm waiting on. And I'm selling it as fast as I put it on there. So I want to show you this kind of close up. So I don't know if you can see that, but that is what this little bitty stuff is. But yeah, you could bust your own glass and then just mist it with a little silver paint or gold paint, just to mist it, and then use that in your art too. But look, this is going to be fantabulous, if I say so myself. So on that note, blocks. It might be, Richard. Oh my God, that was awful. I cannot even believe I did that. Whoo! Did you hear me? Richard, did you hear me? Yes, it was my cat. Did you order glass, Catherine? Did you order some for all of us? Oh, you're talking about from my store? I wish you hadn't done that before you talked to me. Anywho, this is too high up. Hang on. Let me push it back down where you can see it. I don't want you to be out of the picture. So I am elevating my canvas. Yes, Claire, I can't wait to see. They do not carry glass any longer. I don't know why we bought it all. It wasn't like they weren't selling it. It's probably, literally, it's probably made in China. That's probably why. Let's look. It looks like, oh, made in China, right on the label. That's probably why. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Catherine, later. That's probably why it's made in China, but we're going to figure out how to make our own beautiful teeny tiny glass, so we'll just move on from that. Anyway. Yes, Richard, I did. I had to. I mean, it was ridiculous. So we are going to pour resin now, and it's going to make all of this marry together. It kind of looks like a hot mess right now. But once we get the resin on, I need to scoot this over. Once we get the resin on the canvas, you're gonna see how the resin just makes everything come together and marries all of the things. Let's see. Close out on there. Ugh. I'm telling you, it's because it's all made in China. I think that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So for this particular piece, I have a good bit of glass. So how much resin you pour and how much resin you mix depends on canvas size and on how much glass you have. Yes, Yes, you can, Kim, but this is what the glass we're talking about is the teeny, teeny, weeny glass. The fireplace glass is 1/4 inch, and this is teeny tiny. Oh, you get them, Catherine. So for this particular piece, it's not a big piece. It's only I'm about to sneeze, y'all. It's only a 10 by 10. But there is a good, there's a good amount of glass. If I just sneeze, just bless me. There's a good amount of glass on it for a 10 by 10. So, and I do have something on my table actually today. Yes, you do have to buy 10 pounds. That's why we sell it in our store. I don't sell it because I'm making a lot of money, because I'm really not making a lot of profit off that glass. I sell it for my people, because if you buy from American Fire Glass or Starfire or any other glass place, you're going to have to buy 10 pounds minimum. So I buy it from a wholesale company, and I bust it down to 1 pound bags so that you don't have to buy 10 pounds of every color. Karen, if you comment the word link, it will pop up in your Facebook Messenger, a link with all the information about the Shattered Circle, and it also has a link to join if you so choose to do so after you have read all the things. So comment the word link if you're interested in either more information or joining us. We close at midnight tonight, and we won't reopen until March of next year. I'm marking my lines. We won't reopen until March of last year. March of next year. And when we reopen March of next year, you will not have access to the vault unless you pay extra for it. And right now, there are over 50, I have to put my gloves on, then we'll talk resin. There are over 50 video workshops in the vault right now. So if you join this go round, you'll have access to the vault, which has over 50 workshops. And you'll have that access always, as long as you're a standing member in the Shattered Circle. And if you wait to join in March, you will not have that option. And the reason we do that is because it's just getting to be a lot. We have literally had members join and then get super overwhelmed and leave us because they were overwhelmed, and then come back and say, okay, I chilled out, I want back in. It's just a lot to take in because there's so much. So we are going to eliminate the overwhelm next March when we reopen, and the vault will be a separate package. So get in now while you can still get the vault. Comment the word link, and then check your Facebook Messenger, and there will be some info. You'll be able to click that link, and it'll give you all the information about what we offer inside the Shattered Circle. Ooh, I almost forgot. Inside, yeah. Just type the word link. Just from replying the typed word. Yes, if you type the word link in any shape, form, or fashion, you're going to get my message. So type the word link, and then check your messenger and read all about us. And if you decide to join, we will be happy and blessed to have you. So I thought for a minute I might check and see if I had a couple. Oh my gosh, y'all, look at this one. Look at this piece. I'm looking for pieces that have a little gold in them. And look at that. Can you see how sexy and delicious that is? So I'm going to stick that in. I just want a few pieces, and maybe some that are kind of clear. This one, we'll stick him right here with this little Mac Daddy. I don't want to get too much and overwhelm it with large things, but I want a couple. I need to replenish because I don't have a lot of the colors I like. Just a few little nuggets of goodness. There's something pretty. We'll stick that one. Let's stick this one down here. Maybe one or two more tiny pieces down here. Hello. Hey, Michelle. There's no lates. And maybe this one. Oh my goodness. Piece de resistance right there. I like to just throw in a little nugget or two. These are glass chips. A little nugget or two in all my stuff just because I can. And I think it's pretty. So we're going to mix resin. I'm going to mix 2 ounces. I don't think we're going to use all of 2 ounces, but we're going to mix it anyway because I can use it on the art piece that's on the table in front of me. I have some Christmas trees going. So I am using art resin, 2-part epoxy. It's made specifically for art. It is non-hazmat, non-VOC, no BPA, no COV, made specifically for art. We're using that. So I'm gonna pour 1 ounce of resin and 1 ounce of hardener for a total mix of 2 ounces. Hey, Sue. Gotta make sure I don't pass my line. I can't wait to show y'all what I did the other day. I took a picture of it. I already fixed it, but I took a picture of it and I'll post it. So that's 1 ounce of hardener. I'm gonna set that away from me so I don't mix it up. And then we'll do 1 ounce of resin. Pour it right in. Whoa, Nelly. Got a little ahead of myself. Just one little drizzle. Boom. Let it rest. One more drip. Okay, we're there. We are there. So I have 1 ounce of resin. I did not yet. It is sitting on the floor right in front of me by the door. So I have to step on it if I want to leave the room. So I will remember to do that tonight because, you know, I just walked right away last night and forgot it. So I put it right at the door so I can't miss it when I leave. So I am going to go right ahead and mix this stuff right in a cup. So where's my thingy? Oh, here it is. So I'm gonna take this and I can't pick it up, Judy, because it's a small tree and I can't pick it up because I don't have resin on it yet. So I don't wanna spill my glass. So I'm gonna pour both parts into, I could show you one that's already dry though when we're done here, remind me. It's just a baby Christmas tree. I'm gonna scrape out all I can. You don't leave any behind. If you leave a bunch behind out of one part, then it's gonna make your mix off and then you're gonna have a sticky mess that will never dry and you will be sad. We do not want to be sad artists. So mix and measure properly. All right, we'll do 1 ounce of this, pour it in, and then we're gonna mix away. Scrape all the goodness into your cup. And this is the same cup I used last night, the big one. I will use it over and over. I won't measure out of it because it also has dried resin in the bottom of it now from yesterday, just a smidge. But I can measure in my baby cups and then pour in my my used cup and mix away until it's unusable. I have a little bit in the bottom I missed. Hang on. I want to get it all. I don't want to leave any behind. Leave no resin behind. Okay, so now we have both parts in our cup and we have to mix for 3 minutes. Is there anybody out there who is one of my member families who can time me for 3 minutes while I run my mouth? And I'm gonna take a drink first. Hang on 1 second. So thirsty. Okay, so I'm gonna mix for 3 minutes, and you're gonna just stir your resin parts together. Now, thank you, Judy. You're gonna follow the directions on whatever resin you're using. All resins are not made equal. With that said, all resins are not made equal, so I would suggest using art resin for your projects if you want to sell them or if you want them to look pretty in 6 months. Because all the other resins, well, a lot of them are hazmat. You would need to wear a respirator mask to pour them, and they mix and measure differently. So make sure whatever resin you're using, if you're not using art resin, that you follow the directions on your resin bottle. Don't follow my directions if you're using something besides art resin. So I'm going to mix and go and scrape my sides, scrape the bottom, and mix very slowly for 3 minutes. And we got some timers out there who'll let me know when it's up. But while we're stirring, I'm trying to keep my elbow out of this piece of art. If anybody has any questions, have you done 10 of them, Richard? If anybody has any questions about the Shattered Circle or the membership or boot camp or anything about what we're doing inside there, now's a great time to ask because I'm staring at my iPad. So let me know if you have a question. You can comment the word link, L-I-N-K, if you want more information about the Shattered Circle. That link will give you all the information you need to know to make a decision. It'll tell you how many workshops we do every month, 2. And it'll tell you what to expect inside the circle every month. It'll tell you all about our wonderful Facebook group where everybody is loving and generous and kind and encouraging. And it'll just tell you everything you need to know. So comment the word link, L-I-N-K. Go read all about what we have going on and what we are offering. And that'll help you make a decision. We will, if you're already in the Shattered Circle, do you have a permit again every time? Elizabeth, if you're already in the Shattered Circle, if you joined monthly, every month on that same day, so let's just say you joined on the 20th, every month on the 20th, it's going to take that monthly membership out of your bank account that you use to sign up with. In the event you decide you want to cancel along the way, you need to give us a notice 3 days before your payment goes through and let us know. We don't hold you hostage. You can cancel anytime. So Barbara wants to know how to get the gnome video. I did the 2 fall gnomes on my Art Shattered page, and the Christmas gnome is also on my Art Shattered page. Thank you, Judy. They're all the videos are on my Art Shattered page, which is the page you're on right now. So all you'd have to do is go back to this page and click on video, and you'll have to scroll through and find it. It was just a couple of days ago, so it should be easy. Elizabeth said, join for a boot camp. Sounds like you could sign up for a monthly subscription. Yes, if you're in boot camp, you'll be able to sign up when you're done if you haven't. All right, so I'm going to scooch this back over. All you have to do to watch yesterday's video is when this video is done, Raz, you can go back to this page. Just log out and go back to this page when this is done. Or not, you don't even have to log out. But click on the tab that says video, and it'll pop up every video I've ever done, and you can just say, check for the one from yesterday. It should be right there. It's the last one I did before this one, so it should pop up really quickly. So I'm going to scoot this in just a little. You don't want any glass hanging over the edge. Hey, Sherry, how are you? So I'm going to just drizzle, 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 and then it's going to all come together, and you're going to be like, wow. You might not say it exactly like that, but you'll say it. I know. Because the resin just ties everything together. That's just my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to make sure I cover all of my glass first. And the reason I do that is so that it helps blah, blah, blah. I do that because when you want the glass to stick to the canvas. So you want to drizzle it on top of your glass, then it's going to flow down all those little glass pieces from the top to the bottom and glue them down, stick them down to your canvas. And as it does that, it self-levels, and then it's going to spread out beyond the glass, and that'll help us finish out the blank spaces. So we're going to cover all our glass first. And I like to do it very methodically, going from left to right or right to left, so I know I didn't miss anything. So don't go like this. Don't go all around. Just go right across and cover your glass very methodically. So I'm going to keep doing my glass right up to the edge. We'll come down here and do the bottom. So I'm just drizzling it on. This drizzle effect, and then wait until the end to do your blank spaces, your voids as I call them, the areas that don't have glass. Also enable you to use less resin, which is always a good thing, because then you're not flooding your art with the resin, which is completely unnecessary, and you're not wasting resin, because if you flood your art, you'll oftentimes find that you miss spots and you waste resin because it starts running off the sides. And it's of no use to you if it's on your table and not on your art piece. So getting all my glass. Get the glass covered. Oh my goodness. Those little glass chips I put in are so pretty. I can't wait for you guys to see them. So pretty. So just drizzle your glass, and then we'll come back and put it on the rest of the canvas. Okay, so I got all my glass covered. So now what I'm gonna do is just take my spats, and I'm gonna drizzle all around where there's no glass to make sure I have resin there. Let me come down here, and it took just under 2 ounces. I can probably use every bit of this, but I don't want to flood it. I'll put that on one of my Christmas trees. But there's probably a ½ ounce left in the cup, so maybe 1.5 ounces for this, because there's a good deal of glass on here. So that's why. So I'm just going to use my little tool. You can also use your hand. I'll probably use my hand to get the edges in just a minute. But you can use your fingers as long as you have gloves on, or you can use this, which I love, because then I can salvage my gloves and use them 2 or 3, 4 times as long as they're usable. Because I'm all about reusing stuff. It's kind of how this whole journey started. All right, let's do the middle. So I've got some glass kind of randomly in the middle, so I'm going to try to work around that without moving it too much. So I'm going to take a little more time with that because I kind of like exactly where all the placement is. So I'm going to take a little time to not move that around. So remember the other day when I burned my lip? Being a big old dumbass. I have like a little, it would turn into a baby blister, but it was only blistered for like half a day. But now it's like, now not really a scab per se, but it's like my lip is dry. It's like dry, dead skin on my lip. Because yeah, I kissed the torch and I didn't like it. Okay, y'all. I may need to like just slow down, chill a little bit. I've had no wine, just so we're clear. I've had 0 wine. So yes, Michaels has canvas on sale right now. Exciting. And just so you know, Hobby Lobby has all their Master's Touch on sale. So it's a good week to buy art. It is art supplies at Michaels and Hobby Lobby. So go check out what all of those people have on sale, because I never pay full price for anything. If it's not on sale, I ain't doing it. All right, so I'm just kind of looking to see if I have any skippies, and I don't really see any. Don't see any. I do see a little hole right there, so I'm going to scoop up a little bit of resin. It look like a little hole where there might be a little skip. All right, let's look at this. Let me set this aside. Oh, before I do anything else, I want to wipe that off because I just got back from the doctor's office, Catherine, when I needed to get ready to go live, because it takes me about 30 minutes to prep for a live, and I didn't have time. But you better believe when we come back at 9 o'clock for our pajama party, there will be wine involved. Yeah, my sides are taped off with blue tape. I did that yesterday when I'm going to clean off my little applicator just with a artist wipe. I did that yesterday because I didn't want the plaster that I was using to goop off the sides. Sherry, if I said Master's Art, I meant Master's Touch. It's a brand. Master's Touch is a name brand for art products at Hobby Lobby. So clean that off. So it'll be ready for 9 o'clock. Get my gloves clean. I'll be able to use these again. It'll be my 3rd time with these gloves. Make sure we're clean. We'll take them off. Get rid of these. And real quick, we're going to torch. I use a torch because I do big art, and so it's easier to do big art with a torch of this size. But you can use a heat gun. You can use a little baby creme brulee heat torch thing, or you can use something like this. You can even use a blow dryer on, I'm not going to put it anywhere near my face. You can use a blow dryer on high heat, low air, and just keep it far away from your art piece, no matter what you're using. You do not want the flame to touch your resin, and you don't want to stop. You want to keep your arm moving at all times so you're not honed in and attempting to burn a spot in your art. So no kissing the torch. I don't know how that happened. So I want you guys to see this up close. I wish you could see it in person. I am going to take a picture of it and post it so you can see it. But this is gorgeous, even if I say so myself. I have to stand up and look at it from down below. Oh my gosh, y'all. This literally took us 20 minutes or so yesterday. And how long today? All we did today was touch in a little gold, add our glass, and put resin on. So, I mean, this is a 45-minute piece of art.